Small rural community in northeastern Pennsylvania. It was founded in the early 19th century as a crucial hub for oil and timber. Since there were no heavy-duty trucks back then, they had to rely on railroads to move goods around the country. In 1882, Tom Kane, then president of the New York, Lake Erie, and Western Railway, decided to build a branch through McKean County toward the coal fields in Elk County. The only thing standing in his way was Kinzua Creek, a 26-mile tributary of the Allegheny River. Kane had two options: build a bridge over the creek or lay 8 extra miles of expensive tracks around it. He opted for the cheaper and faster option, but that's not to say it was poorly built. When the bridge opened later that year, it was the tallest of its kind. It stood 301 feet tall and was supported by 20 A-shaped towers. It was billed as the 8th wonder of the world, up there with King Kong and Niagara Falls. Trains got heavier as the years passed. In 1900, they dismantled and rebuilt the bridge with steel, allowing it to carry heavier trains. It lasted another 59 years. Then, in 1963, Pennsylvania bought it as a centerpiece for the new state park. Plans to restore the bridge kicked off in 2002. They didn't expect it to carry trains anymore, but it would be nice for people to walk across and take pictures. Then, on July 21st of 2003, as workers were packing up, a tornado touched down and struck the Kinzua. Wind speeds topped around 94 miles per hour, enough to rip the rusted iron foundations from the ground. Towers 10 and 11 fell first, followed by 12, 13, and 14. The storm left the historic structure in utter ruins. A massive amount of the bridge had completely collapsed and was left strewn about the valley below. When the bridge was designed, the engineers did not consider major uplift in their calculations. We're guessing taking a direct hit from a tornado never even crossed their minds. During renovation work in the early 2000s, workers had the chance to do something that could have saved the bridge. They debated replacing the iron anchor bolts connecting the bridge to the concrete footings below with new, more durable steel bolts. For whatever reason, they decided to keep the iron bolts. This turned out to be a huge mistake, as these bolts were the exact point of failure. After the collapse, Pennsylvania decided not to rebuild the bridge. Instead, the ruins serve as an ode to Mother Nature's raw power. They did, however, build a $4.3 million skywalk extending over the Kinzua Gorge. You can walk out to where the bridge collapsed and look down at the trees some 200 feet below. Of world trade on planet Earth. Located outside of Tianjin, China, its glorious buildings and modern architecture will leave places like Paris, London, and New York in the dust. Money will flow through the streets into hard-working pockets. It will be blissful, artful, beautiful, paradise. Too bad it's a ghost town. In 2008, China launched a $50 billion project to build its own Manhattan knockoff, equipped with a Rockefeller Center and a replica of the Twin Towers. They built it as the world's largest financial center in the making. As of today, it looks more like a Lego set you got bored of and abandoned halfway through. About 120 miles outside of Beijing, Ujiapo has been idle since 2015. The city was supposed to be fully functional by 2019. It featured 164 million square feet of office space and a financial district that dwarfed Manhattan. Today, only about 20% of that space is occupied. The only things flowing through the streets are plastic bags. Construction cranes stand idle, having been abandoned since 2015. Half-finished buildings look like skeletons, and a massive shopping mall only has a handful of shoppers. There's even a pet store with no animals. Like other Chinese megaprojects, Ujiapo bet everything on the phrase, "build it and they will come." When nobody showed up,